You rarely see your own strength while you're becoming stronger. Mental toughness doesn't show up with noise or confidence. It hides in your quiet decisions, your silent battles, and the way you carry yourself through pain. The truth is, the people who doubt themselves the most are often the ones who've grown the most. So in this video, we're going to uncover 8 subtle signs that you're far more mentally tough than you realize, even if you don't feel it yet. 1. You don't react immediately. You pause. Most people have no control over their reactions. They get offended instantly. They speak without thinking. They let anger, fear, jealousy, or insecurity grab the steering wheel of their mind, and then they regret the things they said in the heat of the moment. But you're different. Even if you don't realize it, there's a moment, a tiny moment, where you pause before responding. That pause is not accidental. It's strength. It's discipline. It's the earliest sign of a mind that's becoming unshakable. Think about it. When someone disrespects you, you don't explode like you used to. When someone tries to provoke you, you don't fall into their emotional trap. When life throws something unexpected at you, you don't spiral, you observe. This pause is the quiet superpower of mentally tough people. It's the gap where emotion tries to take control, and you calmly say no. Even if you still feel irritated or confused inside, the fact that you don't react instantly means something powerful. You're no longer controlled by impulse. You're controlled by intention. The Stoics believe that a person who can pause, even for a single breath, has already won half the battle. Because in that pause, you're not being led by anger. You're leading it. You might think you're weak because you didn't respond back quickly. But in reality, you showed mastery, not fear. Anyone can shout. Anyone can react. Anyone can let their emotions dictate their behavior. But pausing takes maturity. Pausing takes clarity. Pausing takes a level of mental toughness most people never reach. So if you've noticed yourself thinking before reacting, if you've started choosing silence over chaos, if you take a moment to breathe before responding, then understand this clearly. This is not a weakness. This is power. And it is the first undeniable sign that you're becoming mentally tough, even if you don't feel like it yet. 2. You keep going, even when you're tired. People think mental toughness looks like confidence, motivation, and endless energy. But real strength, real discipline, looks very different. It looks like waking up tired and still deciding to show up. It looks like continuing the work even when no one is watching. It looks like fighting battles no one knows you're fighting, and refusing to give up, even when quitting would be so much easier. Most people stop the moment things feel uncomfortable. They stop when they're tired. They stop when they don't see quick results. They stop the moment the journey becomes lonely or silent. But you don't stop. You keep going. Not because you feel strong, but because you know you must. That is mental toughness in its purest form. Not loud, not dramatic, not glamorous, just quiet persistence. The kind that happens when you don't feel motivated, but you still take that step. When your mind says, "I'm done," but your soul says, "Not yet." Think about how many times recently you pushed through something tiring, getting up early, working after a long day, staying disciplined when your emotions pulled you the other way, choosing growth over comfort, choosing responsibility over excuses. This is not normal behavior. This is not what average people do. This is what strong people do. People who have learned to carry themselves even when life gets heavy. People who understand that progress is not made in moments of motivation, but in the moments you refuse to quit. Here's the truth: most people don't want to accept. Being mentally tough doesn't feel good while it's happening. It feels exhausting. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like you're barely holding it together sometimes. But the fact that you keep going anyway, the fact that you continue despite feeling tired, overwhelmed, or unappreciated, that is strength. That is grit. That is mental toughness disguised as survival. So even if you feel weak, even if you feel drained, even if you feel like you're moving slowly, the fact that you're still moving at all is proof that you're mentally tougher than you think. 3. You choose silence over pointless arguments. Most people believe strength is loud. They think winning an argument means raising your voice, proving your point, dominating the conversation. But that's not strength. That's insecurity, wearing confidence as a mask. Real strength, the kind you're developing, looks completely different. It's quiet, controlled, calculated. It's the understanding that responding to everything is a waste of your energy. Think about how many times someone tried to pull you into drama recently. How many times someone misunderstood you, disrespected you, or tried to provoke a reaction. And instead of arguing, instead of explaining yourself endlessly, instead of trying to prove them wrong, you simply stayed silent. You walked away. You protected your peace instead of feeding their chaos. That isn't weakness. That isn't fear. That isn't you not knowing what to say. That is self-control. That is emotional maturity. That is mental toughness wrapped in calmness. Most people argue because they need to win. You don't. You don't chase validation through arguments anymore. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You don't waste your breath on people who are committed to never listening. This shift, this quiet refusal to engage in meaningless conflict, is one of the clearest signs of inner strength. Stoics taught, if a person can provoke you, they control you. When you choose silence, you're showing that no one has that kind of power over you anymore. You're not reacting, you're observing, you're not fighting, you're conserving your energy for things that truly matter. You're not proving your worth, you already know it. Silence is not empty. It's full of answers. It's full of restraint. It's full of wisdom that most people never reach. So if you find yourself letting things go, if you're not arguing as much, if you refuse to be pulled into conversations that drain you, understand this clearly. This isn't you becoming cold. This is you becoming powerful. This is mental toughness disguised as calm. Before we continue, if you're finding value in this message, remember to subscribe to Nexusmindx. This channel is built for people who want to grow stronger, think deeper, and master their mind in a world full of chaos. Your support helps our community grow, and it allows me to keep creating content that strengthens yours. Now, let's continue. 4. You don't seek validation like before. There was a time when other people's opinions controlled you. You cared deeply about what they thought, whether they approved of you, whether they liked you, whether you were good enough in their eyes. But something changed, quietly, slowly, without you even noticing. You stopped begging for approval. You stopped shaping your life around what people expected you to be. You stopped needing validation to feel valuable. This shift is one of the strongest signs of mental toughness, and yet most people overlook it. You see, weak minds depend on external praise. They need reassurance to feel stable. They chase compliments, attention, and acknowledgement because they don't have a foundation within themselves. But you've started building that foundation. You no longer post just to impress. You no longer speak just to be heard. You no longer move just to be seen. You've learned to give yourself permission. You've learned to trust your own voice. You've learned that validation is nothing more than a temporary high, and real confidence comes from within. Even if you still question yourself sometimes, even if you still feel insecure, the fact that you're no longer living for the approval of others means you are becoming mentally untouchable. You are learning that not everyone needs to understand you. Not everyone needs to like you. Not everyone needs to agree with your choices. And that's perfectly fine. Because mental toughness isn't about being fearless. It's about not letting fear decide who you become. And when you stop letting people's opinions shape your identity, when you stop shrinking or bending to fit someone else's expectations, you don't lose anything. You gain yourself. That's real strength, even if you don't fully feel it yet. 5. You feel your emotions without letting them control you. Most people are ruled by their emotions. When they're angry, they explode. When they're sad, they shut down. When they're stressed, they fall apart. When they're afraid, they run. Their emotions make decisions for them. Their emotions speak before their mind can think. Their emotions decide their reactions, their relationships, their behavior. But you're different, and maybe you haven't noticed it yet. But you've been developing something incredibly rare: emotional control, not emotional suppression, not pretending you don't feel things, not acting like you're unbothered. Real emotional control, the ability to feel deeply without letting those feelings run your life. You still feel anger, but you don't attack. You still feel sadness, but you don't collapse. You still feel stress, but you don't quit. You still feel fear, but you keep going. This balance is one of the hardest things a human being can achieve. And the fact that you are even trying, the fact that you're becoming more self-aware, the fact that you pause, reflect, and choose how to respond, that is mental strength at a level most people will never reach. Weak people deny their emotions or drown in them. Mentally tough people understand their emotions, but they are not controlled by them. You allow yourself to feel, but you don't allow those feelings to decide your future. You don't lash out. You don't panic. You don't let temporary feelings cause permanent damage. Instead, you step back and ask, what is this emotion trying to teach me? That question alone proves your strength. You're learning that emotions are signals, not instructions, not commands, not orders to obey. This is emotional mastery. This is inner discipline. This is the kind of strength Stoics spent their entire lives cultivating. Even if you don't feel strong, even if you think you're struggling, the fact that you haven't surrendered to your emotions is proof that you're becoming mentally tougher day by day. Feeling deeply is human. Acting wisely is strength. And you're doing both. 6. You don't fear being alone anymore. There was a time when being alone scared you. Silence felt uncomfortable. Empty spaces felt heavy. You craved connection, even the wrong kinds, just to avoid the feeling of being by yourself. But look at you now. Something has changed, and in a powerful way. Solitude no longer feels like punishment. It feels like clarity. You're no longer chasing people. You're no longer forcing conversations. You're no longer begging for attention. You're no longer losing yourself trying to keep others close. Instead, you've learned to enjoy your own company. You've learned to sit with your thoughts without running from them. You've discovered peace in the quiet moments, the moments most people are terrified of facing. This is not coldness. This is not detachment. This is inner stability. Weak people can't be alone. They fill their lives with noise, distractions, relationships, and chaos just to avoid confronting themselves. But mentally tough people, they grow in silence. They heal in silence. They recharge in silence. Some of the best decisions of your life have happened when you were alone, when you stepped back, separated yourself from toxic energy, and gave yourself space to breathe. You stopped accepting bare minimum attention. You stopped tolerating disrespect. You stopped lowering your standards for the sake of company. That is not loneliness. That is self-worth. People may say you've changed. They may say you're distant. They may say you're too selective. But the truth is simple. You finally understand that being alone is better than being surrounded by people who drain your spirit. And the moment you stop fearing solitude, the moment you choose peace over noise, the moment you'd rather be alone than with the wrong people, you rise to a level of mental strength most people never reach. Because loneliness is a feeling, but solitude is a choice. And choosing it when necessary is one of the clearest signs that you're mentally tougher than you ever realized. 7. You accept what you can't control. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that some things are simply outside your control. Most people never learn this. They spend their entire lives trying to force outcomes, change people, rewrite the past, or control situations that were never theirs to command. This constant battle against reality breaks them. It drains them. It turns simple frustrations into suffering. But you're beginning to understand something most people never do. Peace comes from letting go of what you cannot control. You no longer waste your energy trying to change people who don't want to change. You no longer fight situations that refuse to move. You no longer cling desperately to outcomes you cannot force. Instead, you're learning to focus on the things you can control. Your mindset, your effort, your reactions, your habits, your choices. This shift is powerful. It means you've stopped fighting battles that only exhaust you. You've stopped trying to control how others see you, how they act, or whether they stay or leave. That is not giving up. That is wisdom. Weak people believe the world must bend to their emotions. But mentally tough people see the world clearly, and they adapt, adjust, and move forward with intention. Every time you release something that doesn't belong to you, every time you stop replaying old events in your mind, every time you let people be who they are, not who you wish they'd be, you gain something priceless, your peace. The Stoics taught that suffering doesn't come from life itself, but from resisting what life is. You've started to understand this. You've started accepting the truth that some things are meant to happen, some things are meant to end, and some things are simply not meant for you. That acceptance is not weakness. It is strength. It is maturity. It is emotional evolution. And even if it doesn't feel like progress, even if letting go hurts, even if you feel the weight of what you're releasing, the fact that you're able to accept reality instead of fighting it means you've already developed a level of mental toughness that most people never reach. Letting go is hard, but you're doing it, and that is undeniable strength. 8. You keep your standards high, even when it costs you people. This is one of the hardest parts of becoming mentally tough, and one of the clearest signs you're no longer the person you used to be. When you raise your standards, people disappear. When you stop tolerating disrespect, people get offended. When you stop settling, people claim you've changed. When you start demanding honesty, loyalty, and consistency, suddenly you're too much. But here's the truth. You didn't become too much. They were simply giving too little. Most people lower their standards just to keep others close. They ignore red flags. They overlook disrespect. They accept the bare minimum because they fear being alone or rejected. But you've stopped doing that. You've reached a point where you would rather walk alone than walk with people who don't value you. You'd rather have a small circle of genuine connections than a crowd of shallow ones. You'd rather protect your dignity than sacrifice it for temporary companionship. This is not arrogance, this is self-respect. And make no mistake, self-respect is expensive. It costs you people, it costs you relationships, it costs you comfort. But it also buys you peace, it buys you strength, it buys you alignment with the person you're becoming. It buys you a life you can actually be proud of. When someone disrespects you and you walk away, that's strength. When someone is inconsistent and you cut them off, that's strength. When someone treats you like an option and you choose yourself, that's strength. And even though it hurts to lose people, even though your heart feels the sting of letting go, you've realized something powerful. Losing people is not the same as losing yourself, and you refuse to lose yourself again. This is mental toughness at its highest level, not just discipline, not just self-control, but a deep understanding that your value is non-negotiable. The old you would have stayed, the old you would have tolerated it, the old you would have settled, but the new you, the stronger you, the wiser you, you protect your energy, your peace, and your standards, no matter who stays or leaves. And that is the final proof that you are mentally tougher than you've ever realized. Conclusion. Mental toughness isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't walk into the room and demand attention. Real strength grows quietly, in the moments no one sees, in the battles you fight alone, in the choices you make when no one is clapping for you. You don't always feel strong. You don't always feel confident. You don't always feel ready. But that's the beautiful part. Mental toughness doesn't feel like toughness. It feels like discipline. It feels like discomfort. It feels like doing the hard thing even when your heart is tired. Look back at your life for a moment. Look at what you've survived. Look at what you've walked away from. Look at the pain you carried without breaking. Look at the storms you endured without losing yourself. You have grown in silence. You have healed in silence. You have rebuilt yourself in silence. And even now, while you doubt your strength, the truth is simple. You are becoming someone who cannot be easily broken, someone who thinks before they react, someone who keeps going when others stop, someone who maintains their standards even when it costs them people, someone who is stronger, wiser, and more resilient than they have ever been. Mental toughness is not a title, it's not a moment, it's not a single victory. It is a journey, a transformation, a slow, steady rise into the person you were always meant to become. And if you recognized yourself in any of these signs, even one, then understand this clearly. You are mentally tough. You are evolving. You are growing in ways you can't even see yet. Your future self will thank you for every battle you chose to face instead of avoid. Keep going, keep growing, keep becoming, because you're far stronger than you think. And this is only the beginning. If this message spoke to you, consider joining us here on Nexusmindx. This community is built for people who are leveling up quietly, growing stronger every day, and becoming the version of themselves they thought they could never reach. Subscribe, stay connected, and let's keep building that mental strength together.